Um, we're blessed to have those, when you consider that, we got a whole new staff and, Matt and I have a lot of the same values, but, it's a big advantage. The past programs I've taken over, you met them October 15th for the first time, but they try hard, they listen. We have 3 real good transfers that we're excited about, and I think because of that, our practices are going to be more competitive than I would have thought.
Is it possible to quantify how much farther ahead you'll be when the official practices start by the benefit of having these summer workouts?
Well, we'll be further ahead than I expected, but we'll be way behind the people we have to play. We tried to change the schedule a little bit. We're playing a lot of quality teams, I think, early. And then the season starts so early. I didn't realize, I think we open up on the 11th of November. When I was a college coach before, you had 6 full weeks. They probably got tired of me by then, but, from my perspective, I didn't even think that was enough. So this is going to be a challenge for us.
Was the non-conference schedule something that you wanted to do, and is that something you've always tried to do in terms of coach college teams getting tough opponents?
Yeah, but when we got the job, we only had one non-conference game scheduled at TCU. I called everybody. At first when I was out recruiting, people were tackling me wanting to play us. That made me a little nervous, but we try to play some really good teams, and we're going to try to play the best teams in the future. And hopefully we're good enough. I think when you go into the Big East, it'll be easy to schedule good teams because your Big East team, your RPI is going to be better and won't be impacted. So I'm hopeful that we can play some of the better programs around here, because there's certainly, with Texas and Baylor and A&M, TCU, there's a lot of great programs here. So we want to play them all if we can.
You said at first they were sort of tackling you wanted to play. Did that change at some point over the summer? Did you see people avoiding you?
No, not really. But again, when you're in Conference USA, it hurts some of the better teams, RPIs, to play you. But once we go into the Big East, when you play in 18 Big East games or whatever it is, I think they won't be as hesitant. But I'm hopeful, I'm hopeful we can play great regional teams. We won't play Kansas unless it's the tournament, or Kentucky or Maryland or Colorado. They're all my guys, but hopefully we can meet them. I know they'll be in the tournament. Hopefully someday we can meet them there. That would be our goal.
Who's been impressive to you in practice in these early workouts?
I don't like that. Coach Smith would get mad at me if I singled anybody out. So, I'm just happy with the attitude. Matt did a wonderful job of bringing good guys in here. We got kids that want to get better, and that's been real positive. And then I have a great staff. I think the kids look forward to being around our coaches, and they know guys are going to care about them and try to coach them up and make them better. So that's been a real positive thing for all of us.
You mentioned the transfers who are here, who are making your practices better. Have you had teams in the past with a big transfer impact like that, guys who have to sit and wait for a year but impact you on the practice floor?
No, not really. I've kept kids. I've redshirted kids. The year we won the national championship, we got down to 9 players because of injuries and some crazy stuff. So we got guys off the football team. But I had 2 red shirts, and the football players made our practices better, and the red shirts helped. But this is unique because the transfers we have are going to be ready to play when we go in the Big East, and that's a real important thing. And then, hopefully we're going to have a good recruiting class. And there's some phenomenal players that I saw you know, this summer that are around here and in this state. We just got to make kids understand we're going to be pretty special someday and want to be part of that. But, you know, they have great alternatives around here. There's some great programs. I understand that. But, you know, we have a lot to offer here. And if we can get a good class this year and with our transfers, we can be pretty special pretty quick.
One of the cuts you made was that point guard over the spring. Do you have?
I didn't make any cuts.
Well, as far as
you know, if you look around, any new coach going in, kids leave the program.
Sure.
I didn't want us to over recruit them and, you know, have kids start as freshmen and then all of a sudden not play, and I didn't think that was fair. So we lost kids, but I checked every program that has a new coach. I checked. That's the norm. You know, kids deserve the opportunity to play, and but I don't know what we have in terms of point guards, big guards, centers. Right now, we're just teaching them to play, and then we'll kind of figure it out. I know one thing: we won't have a lot of depth, and a challenge is to keep our players on the court. And you know, we might have to play a style that's different than we'll play next year or the following year, keep us in games, but that's always fun. You know?
At the press conference when you were hired, you said we're going to play man defense and we're going to pick them up at the airport. If you don't have that depth, does that change that approach defensively?
Well, I didn't say when I do that, but that's my goal. You know, that's how I was taught. So, but you know, everywhere I've been, you know, we've taken over new programs, whether it's pro or college, and you know, you wouldn't be there if things were so successful. So the initial thing is you got to figure out how you can stay in games and give your team a chance to win. But ultimately, you got to get kids that can play the way you feel comfortable teaching. And if Coach Smith saw me play zone and walk the ball up the court, I'd get a phone call or a text message real quick. But I think we got to be realistic, and he understands that. But next year, I guarantee you we'll be doing what we all feel comfortable teaching. This year, I'm hopeful, but we will be building for that every day and every practice.
You mentioned it.